confirm for us whether SBI has indeed cut the base rates and by how much?
Yeah, we have cut the base rate by 40 basis points.
Okay, and currently it stands at 9.3%?
Yes. So 9.7 it will go to 9.3 effective 5th October.
And what would the impact of this base rate cut be on the margins?
Margins for some period of time will be impacted by around 10, 11 basis points. But again, I would suggest that we don't look at it quarter on quarter, because as the deposit book reprices, some of it will obviously come back. So I don't think, we should look at a lasting impact on margin.
Okay, Ms. Bhattacharya, good afternoon. So the governor clearly has left the door open for another round of rate cuts. So shall we assume that going forward, maybe not in the near term, but at some point there will be further rate cuts in the system?
Right. Hello?
Yeah, Ms. Bhattacharya, so can we assume that going forward there will be more rate cuts in the system now that the governor has also kept the door open for further accommodative stance in the policy?
I think that is what is normally indicated when you say that it's an accommodative stance, in the sense that the door is open for further cutting in case the other parameters look to be conducive. So yes, going forward we do believe that there could be something further.
Okay. What about from SBI itself? Because, the governor said that the entire 125 basis points cut that we've seen so far should be transmitted by the banks. So far, we've seen about 30 basis points, now another 40 basis points. From SBI itself, can we expect further cuts in the base rates?
See, I continue to say this time and again, not that anybody remembers, but I'll continue to say this again, that when the RBI raised rates by 75 basis points, we only raised it by 30 basis points. When the RBI brought it down by 75 basis points, we brought it down by 30 basis points. So for us, the transmission was complete. We never brought it up. So where was the question of bringing it down further? But having said that, yes, this time the RBI has cut by 50 basis points. We have transmitted 40. So going forward, as the book reprices properly and as we begin to see more of credit growth coming in, we will definitely keep looking at ways and means of bringing down the rates further. Given the fact that we do believe that further weakening of rates will definitely add to the growth of credit.
Okay, so two-part question then, Ms. Bhattacharya. You said that you see a bit of a margin impact because of this. So was there a bit of a nudge from the RBI to pass on the rates as soon as possible? And second, will you now have to move on deposit rates as well and even cut them as well going forward?
No, the fact of the matter is that even earlier when we cut rates, we normally cut rates to the extent that we possibly could immediately after the rate cuts by RBI. So I don't really think it's a question of any nudges from anybody, but it's a question of how you want to ensure that your book grows well. And regarding the deposits, yes, we will be cutting deposit rates as well. We will be cutting about 25 basis points across various maturities.
And that will be with effect from today itself? Should we see another press release to that effect?
It will be with effect of 5th of October.
Okay.
Because as you know, we are very shortly into the end of the quarter. And I don't want to change the quarter-ending programs on the system by trying and inputting something new. So we will start it from Monday, that is the 5th of October.
Okay, so from Monday, 5th of October, there will be a 25 basis points deposit rate cut as well, in addition to the base rate cut. But Ms. Bhattacharya, the RBI has also reduced the risk weights applicable to low-value home loans. How much of a positive sentiment do you think this could be, both in terms of demand and, just the overall trajectory?
We have to still see what that number will be like, because they have really not come up with any numbers. They have merely said that they will look at the low-value loans that are well collateralized in order to bring down the risk weightage. So today with the 50% risk weight, the capital cost is around, I think, 80 to 90 basis points. So if that is brought down, obviously there will be a little bit of extra that we can do over there. And it should definitely add to the positive sentiment.
Okay, so Ms. Bhattacharya, going forward, what kind of cost of funds change do you see? Because you did say it will impact your margins by 10 to 11 basis points, and I'm assuming that you would have factored in margins going back to normal at some point. So what's the time horizon that we're looking at for your cost of funds to be at par with the kind of net interest margins that you were enjoying?
See, the cost of funds at this point of time we are seeing, because now the book is repricing a little faster as we had started sometime in September. So on a monthly basis, the fall is quite good, but on a cumulative basis, it is still quite minimal. Also, the fact that, there is more of retail deposits now than savings. The mix itself has become more retail, more term deposit, because people realize that they need to lock in their funds as the rates are on a falling cycle. So all of that has got to work in. Immediately, it is very difficult for me to exactly tell you by what time it should come back. But again, as I said, it is not possibly right to look at it only on a quarterly basis. On a yearly basis, we'll see what best we can do. And the emphasis will be to try and ensure that at least the NII remains where it is. Okay,
just to come back to that point you were making about the home loans, you said 80 to 90 basis points fall in the home loans. Is that correct?
No. What I'm saying is currently that's the capital cost.
Oh, the capital
Depending
cost.
upon how the risk weightage comes down, that number will come down.
Okay. And what is SBI? What percentage of SBI's book comes from these smaller category home loans?
We have quite a large number. Exactly the percentage, I don't think I'll be able to tell you right now. But the very small amounts should be in the range of 20-25%. But if you look at our overall book is mainly in the small to medium home loans only. So to that extent, it should have a good impact on our book. But we have to see what is the risk weight that they will finally determine.
Okay, just one final question then, because the sentiment has improved quite a bit post this 50 basis points rate cut. Wanted to ask you, how much do you think this could enhance credit growth for the system as a whole?
See, system as a whole, basically one thing we have to remember that, the WPI being in the negative territory very clearly indicates that the raw material cost for all of our industry has come down. Therefore, the improvement of credit demand on the working capital cycle will still be muted. People are able to manage with lesser amount of money. The increase in credit will necessarily have to come from projects. So therefore, as soon as the projects are all on the ground and moving, you will find credit growth will pick up quite nicely. On the retail side, of course, I think, even today the growth is pretty good. And that should be maintained and it should be enhanced further, given the good sentiments that are coming in, plus the fact that the festival season is round the corner.
All right, Ms. Bhattacharya, thanks a lot for your time today. So that's CNBC TV 18 exclusive, SBI chairman telling us that yes, 40 basis point is the rate cut, and they have also cut deposit rates by 25 basis points. So a near-term cost margin impact of 8 to 11 basis points. Rashesh has been, patiently waiting by. Rashesh, sorry we had to address that breaking news.